Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. Today I have a different kind of show for you. This will be the first time that I've talked to somebody from one of the stories that we covered on the show. With me today is a YouTuber who spent over 9 hours scrolling to the bottom of a blank Excel spreadsheet, Hunter Hobbs. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, before we get into the reason why you're here, I want you to tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Hunter Hobbs. I'm 23 years old, and I just graduated from the University of Oklahoma in May. I'm working in a desk job right now. I work in Excel every single day pretty much, so just kind of doing the right out of college thing right now. So
the news story that I saw you in had you described as a YouTuber. Would you describe yourself as that?
I am a YouTuber up and coming. That's something that I'm kind of passionate about. I've been always making videos and doing all sorts of stuff like that since middle school. So that's something that I'm going to kind of transition to in the near future.
What's your channel about?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure that out. I've always kind of been passionate about just kind of making funny videos, and so I'm gonna probably go that direction. I need to figure that out for sure, though. But probably somewhere around the kind of the funnier video side of it.
Okay. For those people who haven't seen the video, I'll have it up on the homepage, wedon'thavecookies.com. My first question about the video is one that every person I've talked to, when I ask them, what should I talk to you about? They all had the same question, and that is why? Why did you decide to spend so much time scrolling to the bottom of a blank Excel spreadsheet?
That is a great question. That's something I get all the time as well. Like I said, I do work in Excel every single day pretty much, and I don't know, one day I was just kind of bored at work, taking a little break, and then I just decided to hold my finger down on the arrow key for about 5 minutes. And, I was like, man, I wonder how long this would take me to get to the very bottom. And, has anyone ever been dumb enough to try this? So I looked it up, Googled it, and obviously no one had done that before. So that was kind of how it started the first idea, to do the video.
Did you have any idea how long this was going to take?
I kind of did. I did. That's another big question is, my top comments on, every video I've seen is, control down. I did know how many rows, and I kind of did a little estimating, and I figured it would probably take me between, somewhere to 9 to 12 hours, I was hoping. And yeah, it took around, 9 hours and 36 minutes exactly. So
what did you do about eating and going to the bathroom, those kind of things most people do in a 9-hour span?
Oh man. Well, I luckily I went to the store right before and just bought a bunch of snacks. I had a protein shake. I had some pizza in a little cooler under my desk. And then as far as the bathroom part, funny enough, I'm actually about to upload the full 9.5 hour video to YouTube.
Wow. So
people can check that out. But also, I don't know, this is kind of bad, but I used some Gatorade bottles under my desk. The first time I think I've admitted that to anyone.
What were you thinking about when you were doing this? Was it hard to stay focused on just keeping your finger there? Did you ever get distracted and almost take your finger off?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I was zoning out quite a bit, and you kind of have to focus, because if you let your finger off, that I lose the challenge. That's the whole thing. So yeah, that was just really hard to kind of remember what I'm doing and not just sitting at a desk without holding my finger down. So.
Was there ever a point where you almost gave up? You just didn't know if it was going to take longer than you expected?
I kind of did. That thought ran through my mind probably, half the time until I got to the halfway point, about, row 500,000. And then I was like, I'm in this, too deep. I've got to finish this. But I don't know.
What was the maximum amount of time you were prepared to go? Were you like 24 hours or just 12? Where was the line at?
Here's the thing. I only had, I think on my camera, I used an old, video camera my parents had from high school. And I think the limit on that video was about, 12 hours. So I was really hoping that, I didn't record 12 hours, get, almost to the end, and then my camera goes out. So that was another big fear, is that my camera was going to shut off or something was going to happen. And I just, wasted an entire day, doing nothing, which I did, but, it wasn't filmed.
If there was a power outage 8 hours in, would you have tried it again?
Oh my gosh. You know, that's a great question. I would have to do some real, I don't know, like motivating myself to do that again, because that was rough. You know, most people think, he probably just, filmed a little bit of it and, spliced together a video. But no, I was committed to it, so I had to. I don't know if I would do it again if it just went out. So,
what's the response been to your videos so far? What kind of feedback have you gotten?
Well, I mean, I think I wasn't going for, I knew the feedback when I was putting it out. I knew it wasn't going to be good. Most of the covers that I got kind of portrayed me as, a dumb American guy, holds his finger down because he doesn't know how long it takes to get to the end. So, I mean, that's okay, though. I kind of accepted that fact.
I heard it was also brought up in Time Magazine. Did they contact you, or was it just something they wrote about?
No, so this is the funny part. I actually have a copy right next to my desk. So I guess the back of their issue, they have a section called Love It or Leave It. And I think it was about 2016. And at the top for Love It, it had all these inspirational news stories and, people beating cancer. And then at the Leave It section, it had just all these horrible negative things that happened in 2016. And then it has my video with a picture of me.
You were just below Syria.
Yes, but hey, I'll take it though. Time Magazine, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So,
how many views is it up to now?
I think last I checked, it was about 1,042,000. But it's also been shared on a ton of Facebook pages. I know Unilad, which on Facebook they have over 25 million people like their page. It's just about 3 million views on their page right now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions for you from Facebook. Anne wants to know, what was your mood like when you were making the video? I'm sure it had to fluctuate.
Oh, it did. Yeah. I knew I was being filmed the whole time, so I tried to keep as positive as possible during the filming, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to edit it. I talked to the camera quite a bit because I thought maybe, every hour I'd check in and say a few things. I don't know. So my mood was... It was pretty positive. I talked to a couple people on the phone that kind of, made it not so bad. So
yeah, I was going to say that I noticed that you were on the phone quite a bit. I was going to ask who you were talking to.
I talked to my mom, and then I talked to a couple friends. So not too exciting. But
Crystal wants to know, I think this is more of a philosophical question. How did the blank Excel spreadsheet make you feel, and what were you expecting to find?
I think it kind of just made me feel a little anxious the whole time. And it was a little disappointing at the end. There was no fireworks, no nothing, no, big exciting thing that happened at the end. It just kind of stopped. And I don't know. So
you'll have to edit that into the video.
Oh, absolutely. So
did you do any kind of celebration when it was all over?
I'm trying to think back because I filmed that video in November. It just took me a while to edit it and kind of figure out my game plan. Honestly, I think I just jumped up and down a little bit by myself and then took a nap.
Jonathan wants to know, did you do any training to prepare yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, etc.? No,
and actually I almost didn't even do the video that day because I had stayed up pretty late that night. And so when I woke up in the morning, I was super exhausted, just not well rested. So I almost didn't do that. So it was kind of the opposite of preparing myself for that.
Last question I have is a question from last week's guest. His question is, have you ever had impure thoughts about a relative?
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that question.
I wasn't either.
Man, well, I guess, okay, I will say this. This isn't quite so bad. So I do have a stepdad, and his nieces are pretty attractive, but it's a little creepy to say, but it's not so bad that we're not blood. But I don't know. It's a good question. I like that.
Before we go, where can people find you on YouTube and social media?
So if you guys, honestly, you guys can find me a couple different ways. If you type in anything like Excel challenge, or I think the full video is called Insane Excel Challenge, Hunter Hobbs. I think my actual YouTube name is like one word. It's Hunter Hobbs and then HOBBZZZ, which is weird. But anyway, if you just Google pretty much Excel challenge in YouTube or anything, it should pull me up.
Okay, and I'll make sure to have a link in the show notes for anybody who wants to follow up on that. I want to thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm subscribing to your channel right now, making sure that if something else comes out, we can keep everybody posted on what you're up to.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Jason. Yeah, like I said, I should. I'm working on exporting that 9.5-hour video. It's taking me 4 days to export that from my computer. So once I do that, I should put that up, and I'm going to start actually putting some more content out there besides another Excel video. So no worries.
You should do a Shia LaBeouf thing where you video yourself watching you watch the video.
I actually thought about doing a reaction video, but I figured, I got a lot of negative response from that. It probably wouldn't be too positive if I did a video like that, but it's a good idea.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Jason.
No problem. Take it easy. That's it for us this week. Monday, I'll have one of your favorite guests, Conduyawa Carpenter, on the show, and we'll be making an announcement that you don't want to miss. Keep spreading the word about the show, and I'll talk to you Monday.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review.
The first time I think I've admitted that to anyone.